What is going on, everybody? It is Monday, October the 4th, and this is a very late edition of my News Radar. Before I jump into the news, I just want full disclosure here. I am about as sick as I've been in a long time. I feel very ill, but I'm feeling a little bit better this afternoon. Got some medication flowing. I wanted to get a news video out because, I don't know, I'm an idiot. I know I don't need to do this. Here I am. I felt guilty about not getting a video out today. So we're going to try and limp our way through a News Radar video. If I seem a little off, you know why. I don't feel well. I'm going to do my best. So guys, Windows 11 is finally basically here. The release date is tomorrow. You can go ahead and have this thing installed now. You just have to change your insider update settings to release channel, release preview channel, something like that. And it will download and install Windows 11 on any compatible device. And of course, since it's here, it's a thing you can have. People are now reviewing Windows 11, and Windows Central here has a really nice article where they're kind of giving you a snapshot of what everyone seems to be saying or thinking about Windows 11. We've got here a quote from Zach from Windows Central. He says, quote, Windows 11 has the potential to be the best version of Windows yet, but some of the choices Microsoft has made around Teams chat widgets, setting browser defaults, the incomplete dark mode, and functionality of the taskbar really hold it back from being that. Hopefully the next release of Windows 11 fixes these issues. And I think generally speaking, it feels like that's kind of the general feeling as you go through. I'm gonna have some of these quotes here on screen. You can kind of see them yourself here if you care to read them. But it basically, that kind of seems to be the general consensus, right? That Windows 11 has a ton of potential. I actually like it more than I dislike it, but yet there are some strange choices being made here and there, which are holding the overall experience back. I do think that it's very good on touchscreen devices. I think it's actually most at home there, although there's just bugs still. There's just still weird stuff going on that I don't know why we're still dealing with. I'm on the release channel here, and I keep getting this bug where, like, in my taskbar, stuff's just like stacked up on top of itself. For some reason, OneDrive's icon is there repeatedly, and it's like underneath other icons. And like right now, the little arrow, I've got it twice doubled up like this. That's frustrating and annoying, but look, these aren't massive game breaking bugs. These aren't things that are going to make you not be able to run Windows 11. Hopefully things are much better over time as they do update this thing and they do move forward. Windows 11 doesn't have some sort of game changing feature that you're just like, wow, I've got to have Windows 11 to have that feature. There's nothing like that in this update. A lot of small quality of life things like the snap menu. I actually quite like the start menu as well. I like the overall look of it. There's some good stuff there. Let me know if you plan on upgrading in the comments down below. Let's talk for a second now about some Samsung hardware. This is something that actually happened some time ago, but I somehow missed talking about it. I've been using it, this new software update on my Galaxy Tab S7, but again, like I said, I haven't really talked about it. And basically what this thing is, they brought over what is probably my favorite feature of One UI 3.1.1 on the Z Fold devices. They brought this over to the Galaxy Tab devices. And what that is it's the pinned taskbar. It's the ability to just launch whatever app you want to launch from that pinned taskbar, the ability to drag apps over from that taskbar and multitask and do all these sorts of things. And it basically makes this thing truly feel like two separate devices. Okay, so before, you had your phone, which is fine, and then you basically had Big Phone, which is also fine. But now with that taskbar, it genuinely does feel like an entirely different experience from the normal phone mode. And now with this update on your Galaxy Tab, you have this taskbar. And my favorite thing about it is that, before I would just use Dex mode on my Galaxy Tab. You had windows and you could resize, and it had a taskbar at the bottom. With this taskbar here on the side, what you have now is kind of a half step, right? Where you've got normal Android, it just looks like a big phone. You can pin your taskbar, and now you've got like a half step between normal Android and Samsung DeX. And I find myself actually really liking using it that way. I really enjoy being able to quickly switch between apps without having to go home and occlude what I'm working on. To be able to drag over my most recent app that I'm working, multitasking with, and just snap it in there next to the other app I'm already using, watching it resize really nicely. It's really good. In fact, it's so good, I've not been using DeX mode. I really like DeX, but this taskbar kind of supplants DeX for me in a way. And of course, there are some of these labs features as well, like being able to auto-rotate any app and so forth and so on. Overall, really, really good update that they pushed over to the Galaxy Tab devices. Just as good as it is on the Z Folds, it's just that good on the Galaxy Tabs as well. Sticking with the Z Fold devices, it looks like they're selling as well as it looked like they were early on. We have this news article here on Fandroid. Samsung's hot new foldables are its best-selling smartphones in years in Korea. So right now, what Samsung is doing is the S series of phones used to be kind of the flagship. So I guess you had the Note was like the super flagship. Then you had the S series, and then you had the SFE series. Now what's happening is Note's gone, right? This is the new flagship. The Z line is the new premium flagship, I guess. And now you've got the S Ultra, and it goes down from there. And that really is how they're positioning things, where the Z line is their new flagship style device. And that's something they've put a lot of effort into getting right. And at least in Korea, that seems to be going really well. According to reports, the Z series devices are going to pass 1 million sold already. Now, this is the Z Flip and the Z Fold, but considering how big of an increase that is over the Z Fold 2 and the Z Flip 5G, things are going really, really well for the Z series of foldy boy phones. I know, just anecdotally, I've had far more people asking me what I think about my Z Fold and kind of asking me, hey, is this something I should buy? There's much more interest from what I've seen in the real world than there was maybe 6 months ago, or maybe even longer than that. It seems like general interest is rising, and I'm actually seeing Z Flip 3s in the real world. I'm running into people who have a Z Flip, which is insane to me. And it's something that I actually, maybe it's not that insane because I kind of predicted it months ago when I said I thought that these phones, the Z Flip in particular, would be one of the ones to start breaking into the mainstream, and that is exactly what we are now seeing. Speaking of phones trying to break more into the mainstream, let's talk about the Pixel 6, because we've got some leaks here about pricing in Europe, and it's actually quite surprising to me. Given, Pixel 6 Pros can have such high-end camera specs, a custom system on a chip in Tensor, Google Tensor's their custom SoC. I expected Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro to be relatively expensive, but we're getting some leaks here where maybe it's not going to be all that bad. This is from M. Brandon Lee of This Is Tech Today. M. Brandon Lee, that's kind of a weird first initial, kind of, what are you, some sort of actor from the 60s? Anyways, he's reporting from his sources that the Pixel 6 will run 649 euros, whereas the Pixel 6 Pro will be 899 euros. And actually, 9to5Google was actually able to confirm these with another source in Europe. And that's really not that crazy. If we do a little quick Google conversion here, we're looking at about $1,000. So is it possible that $899 will be $999, maybe $750 and $999 in America? I think that's relatively reasonable, and definitely doesn't put it in this crazy super premium price group, that $1,400 device like the Surface Duo 2. I think that puts it in a pretty good place to be able to succeed. We've got more news from this same guy about the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, though, where we've got some camera samples. Now, in these camera samples, we're able to see, as this thing's telephoto lens does zoom in further and further, what kind of quality loss else do we have there? And I would recommend you go ahead and watch his video as well. I'll link to it in the description down below, because in this video you can see much better quality. You know what you're going to see, and these websites have these pictures, but they're really low quality. So he's got a much better quality version of these photos that you're going to be able to see in his video. And I mean, honestly, from what you can tell from what he's got here, I mean, look, the picture quality looks very good. I don't know what else you'd expect from a Pixel device, but they do look very good. They look very detailed. Dynamic range does look good. He's actually even got a small video sample here as well, which again, you're going to want to watch it yourself on his channel to be able to really see what's going on there. I'm not a big fan of all that sorts of flashy moving stuff around his video, but whatever. Because, you know, look, video quality has always been something that, you know, Pixels take great photos. The videos are pretty good, but no Android phone, I'm not going to tell you any tales out of school here. No Android phone takes videos that can beat an iPhone. It's just the case. There's some features, there's some good stuff on Android, but iPhone takes the best videos. And we know from what we've learned about the Pixel 6 that is something that Google is trying to target. They're trying to take that video throne from Apple. Maybe Pixel 6 will be the one. I mean, look, all in all, the hardware is there. We know that, you know, Tensor's got some custom magic there to be able to make this stuff even better. Who knows? Guys, that is all the news I have for you today. Hopefully this video was decently high enough energy to be entertaining. Be sure to catch News Radar every Monday and Friday. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.